Hey friends, we are back with more lessons on personal growth. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about something that happens to all of us at some point, hopefully not too often, but life tends to throw us curveballs, things that we didn't expect. You know, we're in a groove, things are finally working out, and all of a sudden, out of left field, here comes something right at us. And then we're left feeling overwhelmed and uncertain. And so the thing is that there are things that we can put in place so that we can either avoid the curveballs or at least they can protect us from them or at least to help us feel confident in redirecting when those curveballs hit so that we know what to do. So today I want to talk about three game-changing lessons that have the power to reshape our lives really in remarkable ways. Before we go there, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nancy Brooker. I am the Living in Yes coach for women who feel overwhelmed by life's demands and secretly don't feel good enough, but are really ready to transform that inner voice, that inner critic, and embrace life. So they hire me to help them to teach them how to really connect to their inner selves, their inner worth, trust themselves, so that they can really start rocking their relationships, stressing less, and living in yes. So here we go, three lessons. So number one, of course, we all know this one: prioritizing self-care for personal growth. So, in the world of personal growth, self care is not a luxury. Self care is not a want, it's a need. We all need to take care of ourselves. We all need to practice some self care. And when we do that, we're really acknowledging our own self worth and setting a foundation for a fulfilling life. So take for example Sarah, a busy mom busy working mom, finally realized at some point that she was just putting everyone else before herself and trying to do everything for everyone, and she's completely overwhelmed and burnt out. So she decides to, carve out a part of her day that's just for her. 30 minutes of dedicated time every day, getting up a little bit earlier so that she can meditate and just have a cup of tea before the rest of the craziness, the rest of the family gets up. And also to set aside some time for herself to engage in a hobby that was always really important to her, painting, in the past, and just to get a little glimpse of that back into her life. And, over time, what happened is she really started to notice a positive shift in her mindset, in her well being, in her energy, feeling more balanced, and feeling more equipped, right? More able to deal with everything that was going on in her life. Just with that simple act of giving herself that half hour, whatever that is. And, some people think self care and they think, oh, you have to go to the spa, or you have to do, go get a massage, or which, and of course those are great ways to take care of yourself, but it can be something as little as going for a walk in nature, um, you know, stopping and taking, noticing your breath for a few breaths, um, calling a friend. All of those are really good ways to take care of yourself. Finding an old hobby that you liked and starting to get back into it, or something new that you've always wanted to try. Self care is not selfish, self care is self love. So, practicing self care, just puts you in that place so that when those curveballs come towards you, you are balanced and ready to pivot or repel and do whatever you have to do in the face of that. Number two, it's important to set boundaries so that we can foster our personal growth. Um, Boundaries are really critical in maintaining healthy relationships, and which will then help our personal growth. And so we really need to start looking at what are our own limits and needs, and what sort of boundaries do we need around us, and then we need to start clearly and assertively really communicating these to the people around us. Setting boundaries is not about controlling other people. Setting boundaries is about self-respect, respecting yourself, It's okay to say no when something doesn't align with your own values and priorities. That, that's perfectly fine to do. And when we set and enforce these boundaries, they really create a supportive environment around us so that we're able to thrive. And there's a whole series, in on the channel about setting boundaries that you can have a look at. So self care, setting boundaries, and then number three is really embracing resilience um, amid change, right? Amid challenges. Challenges are going to happen. It's just a fact of life. But the way we respond to them really determines how much we're going to grow. So, really cultivating resilience empowers us to bounce back and learn from whatever's going on, and then to become stronger in the face of that for the next time. So, how can we do that? Well, we can start by, working on shifting our mindset towards, and we've talked about this one too, towards seeing challenges as opportunities for growth. It's not a failure; it's a stepping stone onto the next thing, onto the next better thing. That sort of mindset shift is really important. It's important to surround yourself with a network of people who will uplift and encourage you. Um, and then to take time for self reflection, to really start looking at your strengths um, personally and where you need to improve. And all of these things are going to help build your resilience. And, maybe most important of anything is to have self compassion for yourself, right? Celebrate the small victories as they happen, keep the momentum going, will all help build your resilience. So, the bottom line, your growth journey is really unique and deeply personal to you. But when life throws you those curveballs, you will be much better able to handle them if you've prioritized self care, if you've set some boundaries, clear, assertive boundaries, and if you've been cultivating that resilience as the little things happen, so that when something bigger happens, you're ready for it. So I will leave you with today's quote, which is, "Never stop learning, because life never stops teaching us." And that's a Buddhist proverb. I hope you found that helpful. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the channel. Come see me over at Living in Yes. If you could use some help prioritizing your self-care, setting boundaries, and cultivating some resilience, then let's talk. Thanks, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.